Ladies and gentlemen, friends and enemies, I had the privilege, the honor to meet Joe Rogan finally. If you watch my videos, I mentioned this. I went to his show in Philly, and man, was it really, really great. Joe Rogan, he had this bit about cats that just had me laughing, so it hurt. It hurt. But I followed Joe for a long time. There was this thing where I was supposed to go on his show, it never happened. And then, he hit me up, apologized for me not being able to come on his show, but invited me to his show in Philadelphia, not the podcast. And now we have something more culture war related that you're going to watch. And the reason I bring up that I just met him is that, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened. Basically, Joe on his podcast brought up white African, South African farmers being killed. And he brought it up in a rather tepid way. Look, whether or not you think there is something going on or you think it's a conspiracy, the point is people have talked about it, it's been in the news, and the way Joe framed it was kind of tepid, like... Let me just show you this clip. So first we have this guy, Caleb Akarma, and this is a reporter at Mediaite. He said Joe Rogan is now promoting the South African white genocide conspiracy theory. Okay, well let's watch this clip and see what actually happened.
Well, all I've been hearing about Africa lately is what's going on with white farmers in South Africa, which is it's very scary stuff, where people are encouraging people to attack white farmers. There's a whole lot of socio-political and economic shit that goes on with that I'm not even going to pretend I understand, but that's what you hear about. You don't hear about good things. You hear about how many farmers have been murdered in their homes.
Well, that's a shame, man, because...
So that's what he said. And none of what he said was wrong, okay? This guy is now claiming that Joe Rogan is promoting the South Africa white genocide conspiracy theory. Well, hold on. Joe mentioning that's all you hear about. Yeah, because there was a big thing in the press when Donald Trump tweeted about it. Donald Trump tweeted that farmers were being killed or something like that, and then a bunch of news stories wrote about it, and Joe heard about it and talked about how he heard about it. For all we know, the context of this is that Joe is talking about how he's hearing all these news stories and how they're saying it's fake. He just simply said he doesn't understand it, and it's something he hears a lot about. You don't hear good things. He's not talking about what he actually believes is happening. He's talking about what he's hearing happening. And he's not wrong. You hear this all the time. To say that that is somehow akin to promoting a conspiracy theory is nuts. Somebody said, Joe Rogan makes a completely fallacious statement and always ends it with some fence-sitting bullshit. I think this, but what do I know? I just have millions of fuckheads who will run with it. Fuck that guy. Joe said, if Newsweek is lying, take it up with them. And I don't have the article, but yes, I covered this too. Newsweek had a headline. What is it? It's like every 5 days a white farmer is killed. This story's been reported on for a long time. And just because white farmers are being tortured and killed, and they are, doesn't mean there's a white genocide, because even Lauren Southern, who is considered to be more aligned with, I believe she has like an identitarian shirt, so I don't want to accuse her of being alt-right, although she's pretty close. People call her alt-light. She goes to do a documentary in South Africa. A lot of people say, she's conservative, she's a white nationalist and all that stuff. That's whatever you want to believe. The point is, she's much more sympathetic to a lot of these people than Joe Rogan would be. And even Lauren Southern said it does not amount to white genocide. If Lauren Southern, who talks about migration problems and even got in a boat in the Mediterranean, is going to tell you, no, South Africa is not white genocide, how the hell are you going to accuse Joe Rogan of promoting it just because he said he heard about it? And this is what's absolutely nuts. But you know what I wanted to bring up? I tweeted this. This is a scary example of how critical thinking is non-existent in our political climate. Small clips, out of context, presented in bad faith. You can't even talk about an issue critically today without being accused of promoting it. Joe didn't say, hey, did you know this is happening? He said, it's all I hear. All I hear are these stories. And he's right. It was all over the press. But this guy, Caleb Akarma, took that clip, this tiny little 20-second clip, and said he's promoting white genocide conspiracy theories. Total bad faith. Come on, Caleb. You know he's certainly not doing that, but he wants the hot take. He wants those 800 retweets. And then you get me calling him out about no critical thinking, and that's my hot take. And guess what? I got twice as many retweets. That means I'm winning the internet. No, but that's really how people think, right? I didn't tweet this out because I thought I'm going to get a ton of retweets. I was actually surprised to find people are actually retweeting this. I'm just frustrated by how often simply talking about something that you're hearing about, simply talking about an idea is considered to be promoting it. And it gets even crazier. So this random, I have no idea who this person is, but they said, Joe Rogan is a gateway to the alt-right. And there's a little emoji or whatever ASCII text thing holding up the sign. And they said Joe Rogan just retweeted Tim Pool, who defended him doing the typical, quote, out of context move. A Jordan Peterson fave as well. I'm just going to stop here. Thank you for comparing my work and my ideas to that of Jordan Peterson, a psychologist, a professor, well-respected among many people. Sure, I don't know if I'm worthy of that, but they're saying out of context move, right? This is where it gets really funny. So they say, Pool is an alt-right adjacent, far-right hack who specializes in concocting and promoting racist conspiracy theories, so that's cool. Even though I literally made, this is really funny, check this out. So they show this is the retweet. Then they show these clips. First of all, inside the no-go zone. This video is a far-left politician telling me that the right is incorrect. It's literally 18 minutes of a Green Party politician in Sweden being like, no, they're misunderstanding everything. And me going, interesting. Literally giving a leftist the chance to talk about what's actually going on in Sweden. And this video is not balanced out by someone on the right. What I did in Sweden was each video was like an interview with a certain person. We explored certain things. So we went to Rosengard and we interviewed specifically a left-wing politician about this. That was the point. And they're taking this and acting like this is promoting a conspiracy. Dude, if you think that video is a conspiracy, you're a right-wing conspiracy theorist. They take this one, getting escorted out of the, quote, no-go. I put no-go zone in quotes, right? Like, what am I supposed to call it? Everyone is calling it no-go zones. I put it in quotes, And this really happened. I got escorted out. Then they have the Sweden problem, where it was titled Sweden Has Real Problems, this video. Yeah, they do. They literally do. I don't think this person actually watches any of my videos, because if he did, they would conclude, or they would find that most of my opinions are rather in the middle. Like in the Sweden report, I mentioned, crime in Sweden is ridiculously low compared to the United States. If you live in a big city in the US, and you hear about violent crime escalating somewhere like Sweden, you're going to assume you have your own perspective based on where you live. So you live in Chicago, you have 800 murders per year. You then hear that there's all these murders going on, and you imagine it's like Chicago because that's where you're from, and that's, it's relativity. Your perspective on other places is relative to your personal experiences on what is possible. But the thing is, Sweden does have real problems. They are seeing an increase in violent crime, but it's still relatively low compared to most other countries. It's just relatively high compared to their own. That's what the video talks about. And then they have Yvette Falarka loses in court. Yvette Falarka loses Berkeley court case. And she did. That's what the video's about. My videos are rather tepid. I don't insult her. I actually tried to interview her. She didn't want to do it. And then they have this video. This is actually my favorite because this is a couple days ago. It's titled The Rise of Mixed Race Supremacism and Race Contradiction. Because the joke is, I am mixed race. Brett Weinstein tweeted that I was a mixed race supremacist. And there is a meme about mixed race supremacy, the point being that if you claim to be a supremacist of any race, people are going to give you a side eye, especially a white supremacist. But if you're a mixed race supremacist, the question is, which race do you, which one, right? And the idea is that the point of this video, which is actually really funny as a mixed race person, I'm highlighting articles talking about why when people from different parts of the world have babies, those babies are better off. It's called hybrid vigor, some people call it. I don't know if that's specifically relating to this, but diverse gene pools, according to that article, lead to smarter and taller children. And I'm talking about how great that is. The video is literally me being like, hey, people who are against this are wrong because there's a lot of great things about a diverse gene pool. And they're using this as an example of somehow me being opposed to race mixing when I myself am literally, how many times you know what? No. You guys, you follow my work. A bunch of you are always complaining about how I say I'm mixed race all the time. A bunch of people are always like, Tim, we get it, you're mixed race. But don't you understand why I say it so much? You might watch my videos and say, look, I watch all your videos, Tim. I know you're mixed race. But then you have these people who don't watch any of my videos, and then they post stuff like this. Yes, no. You are taking this video out of context. This is why it's hilarious. They're taking it out of context and then acting like these people don't understand that context exists, right? Joe Rogan's statement taken out of context, and they say, oh, Tim Pool's using the classic out of context defense. And then we have this one. This is the best, because Vlad Teichberg is a crazy person who hates me for I have no idea why. He accused me of working with the Spanish police at one point. This is a guy from Occupy Wall Street. And he said, Timcast, self-described director of innovation at Disney and co-founder of Vice News on defending Europe against African migrants. Literally never said that. And this video is me saying, if you ask Antifa, what Lauren Southern is doing in the Mediterranean, they will tell you that she is blocking refugee rescue missions, that she is stopping ships from saving lives. But when you ask these activists what they think they're doing, they'll tell you they just want to defend their culture and protect their homeland. That is a fact. That is literally what they say. If you go and talk to Generation Identity, they're not going to twirl their mustache and talk about conquering the world and establishing an ethno-globalist, authoritarian regime. They're going to tell you that they believe that, ethnic Germans should be should have control of Germany or something to that effect. It doesn't mean I agree with it. It means I'm literally telling people what they say. And what he did was, he took a clip out of context, so all you hear me say is something like, they just want to protect their homeland. And I'm like, no, right? I said, this is what they will likely tell you, that they just want to protect their homeland. But this is what people do. It's what we're seeing with Brett Kavanaugh. When they said that, these drugs would be like abortifacients or whatever it's called. They take the they said off, so it sounds like he's the one saying it when he's actually paraphrasing someone else. And that's what they do. And that's why it's really hilarious. They literally were criticizing me for using an out-of-context offense and then moved to take me out of context specifically. And there are people who see this photo, and what's really funny is like, they're claiming that the idea of mixed race supremacy is an alt-right conspiracy, and I'm thinking like, yeah, but what if I'm actually a mixed race supremacist, right? The point being, that's the meme. That's the point of the meme, right? But there's more, and this is great. Roaming Millennial, Lauren Chen, she put her real name up, said, when you think Joe Rogan is a gateway to the alt-right and that Timcast is adjacent to the alt-right, it's time to step back. Since when did discussions of human rights violations and violence against minority groups become strictly alt-right, an alt-right stance? When it applies to whites? I'm not even talking about that. The point I was making was specifically that we should be allowed to talk about things, and that Joe Rogan didn't say it was definitively true. He didn't say there was white genocide. He said he read an article about how white farmers are being killed. Plain and simple. So I don't know. He tweeted this, I don't know what is happening over there, but I do know there is a lot of violence all over South Africa, and there are many legit sources that point this out online. Here's the thing. The reason why I mentioned that I just met up with Joe recently is that we had decently, we talked for like 10 or 15 minutes before and after the show, and Joe he's a left-wing guy. He's further left than I am. I am a social liberal, which means I am just to the right of Bernie Sanders, right? That's like, I don't want to necessarily say like Democrat, but I believe majority of Democrats are social liberals too. So that's where I fall. I'm not tribal, right? So I'm not going to believe the politicians. I'm not going to believe the news simply because they claim this is what Democrats want. I'll tell you a secret. Well, it's not actually a secret. I think Bill Maher's hilarious. He did a segment on socialism that I thought was a little off, but I thought it was hilarious when he criticized the Democrats, criticized the Republicans, and I don't agree with Bill Maher on a lot of things, but I think he's great. I really do like Bill Maher's comedy. He's for free speech. He's for offensive comedy and jokes, and he's a liberal. Joe Rogan, to the left of me, totally. And he's like a pot-smoking, kind of like hippie-ish lefty libertarian dude sitting around having crazy conversations with people, but he's alt-right now? This is absolutely ridiculous. He said, as I responded to other tweets about it, the more I've looked at it objectively, the more I think that violence is just a huge problem in general in South Africa, and that many people have isolated the statistics on farmers, and it makes it seem like they're being targeted. Listen, I'm going to end with this. People are crazy. I can't remember who, I think it was Bunty King said this, but actually Lacey Green said this. At some point, you have to realize that people are going to hate you. End of story. There's nothing you can do about it. And I get it. So when for a while, things like this would kind of make me angry, but now I just don't care anymore because these people are literally insane or they're liars, right? Like, if you watched any one of my videos, you'd be like, wow, like, I have people commenting that I'm a libtard, that I'm a stupid liberal, trying to, like, run defense for the left when talking about these issues. Yeah, I get it all the time. But you know what? You just gotta accept it. People are gonna lie about what you do, and they're gonna use it against you. But it can be dangerous, because if people push this stuff, they're gonna start claiming Joe Rogan is alt-right, and they're gonna try and get his platform taken down. They're gonna try and get him booted from certain, from YouTube, and yeah, anyway, rant over, I guess. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around. I got a couple more videos coming up in just a few minutes.